Okay, hello my friends. Hopefully that you are doing great. So sorry for the background noise around if you hear any other voices. Accept me because kids is now playing around. So today's lesson I want to share you an interesting thing in Selenium. That's how can you try to execute a JavaScript on the page using Selenium. So let me tell about the situation first, and then we can understand easier. So for example, I'm testing for the float things menu, and I want to test whether this menu is in the top when the user scroll to the bottom of the page. So how to check this one display is not hard, but how to do something like scroll to the top or scroll to the bottom. This is something tricky. So in in the browser, we can execute some JavaScript to do that. For example, I want to scroll a long way to the bottom here. So what I want to do that I will try to execute a JavaScript like let me see, window dot scroll to I want to scroll to this position, so this should be from 0 for the X coordination, and for the Y, I want to access the value from document.body here, and then I will get the scroll height here, yeah, and then I enter. So you see, the base is now scroll. Let's do it again. Try to use the up arrow keys here to reduce the previous JavaScript here, and then you enter. You see, it's happened very quick. So how can we inject this JavaScript snippet code into Selenium code? So we can try to simulate something like scroll to the bottom. So try to open the ID and then try to create a new Java class with the name JavaScript executor. Okay, something like that. And then inside you just create a main method here and then create a new instance, not this one. Web driver. So let me try to import this one. Equal web driver.get from driver. Okay. Now I want to go to the target URL. So let's try to copy the URL here, and then I don't think I want to maximize all of the thing here. So let's keep it like that. After that, if I want to execute a JavaScript, so I will use the class JavaScript executor here from Selenium JavaScript executor, and let me name it as the JavaScript executor equal. I want to cast in the JavaScript executor here, and I put the driver at the end here. So that means we can get the JavaScript executor instance correctly. So this is the syntax. That's how can we declare a JavaScript executor here. So after that, I will try to do something like JavaScript executor, and then I will call something like execute the script, and then I will put the string here, the JavaScript snippet contains inside here. So let's try to go back here and then copy this one. So I just place inside here. So after this line, of course, execute this, we can, navigate, scroll to the bottom, right? So let me try to run this one. Now it's now launching the page. And then you see very quick, it scrolls to the bottom immediately, right? So that means we could execute a JavaScript snippet in our Selenium code here. So I want to try to make it as a util function here. So let me try to create a new Java class here with the page controller. And then I want to contains all of the utility function inside to use outside, because something like scroll to the bottom that we can use many places in our script, so I don't want to keep it here. So what I do, I created a page controller under utility package here, and then what I do, I will declare a public sorry, not this one, public static something like scroll to bottom. And then what I want to do that I want to have something like public static void. What I want to do that I want to have a parameter web driver here as the driver, and then after that I will try to copy all of the thing here, and then I push it here. So you can see we have driver here, and then we can execute something like this one to scroll to the bottom. So what I want to do that I will try to to code the page controller here, page controller, and then I just dot scroll to bottom. In this case, I will have the parameter as driver here. So it will scroll to the bottom of the page, and then we can reuse this utility class and this utility function many places in our automation test, right? So let's try to rerun it again to make sure it's worked correctly. Okay, it worked. So now you can understand how to execute a JavaScript snippet in our Selenium code here. So basically, we will have a JavaScript executor, but it's a little tricky here. You see the way we declare here. For example, we need to cast the JavaScript executor here, and then we put the driver here. So it's a little tricky here, so you need to remember. And after that, we call something like JavaScript executor dot execute script, and then we can put the script contents inside, JavaScript content inside, right? And if you want to use it in other places in your automation test, you try to create a utility function, public static void, and then you name it like something scroll to bottom, and then you just reuse where you need to use it, right? So that's all for the lesson today. So try to practice yourself again and see you in the next lessons.